Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I came across Sekiro back in 2019 while binging through YouTube videos of other people enjoying video games, and it instantly became one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube. Couple of things that I noticed. A samurai with some cool moves actually. A samurai who was also Spider-Man. Combat mechanics that made me drool, and a difficulty setting that made everyone lose their freaking minds. Some even whined. Yes, absolutely no way. There's no way I am skipping this game. Fast forward to 2020, I bought a PC and made sure that Sekiro was the first game that I tried, and after completing it, I realized that once again, a single game nearly ruined entire gaming for me. So what did I mean by the last statement? Well, even though I do keep on saying that I bought the PC recently, the thing is I did have a PC before, let's just say it's a laptop. And I did have a mild PC gaming experience before. And Devil May Cry 4 was one of the few games that I got to play back then, and my god I loved that game. Even with all its flaws, it became one of my most favorite games solely because of its combat. That game's combat impressed me so much that for a long time after that, I could not bring myself to play any other games for quite a while. I skipped games like Crisis after that. I just could not bring myself to play it. I never thought that I'd feel like that for any other game other than Devil May Cry 5. And finally, when that game got announced, I was so damn excited. But then, coming to the present, I played Sekiro instead. And now, I really don't want to play Devil May Cry 5. I want Sekiro Part 2, Journey to the West or whatever. I don't really feel like playing any other games other than Sekiro Part 2. I just want a sequel to the game. And once again, it is because of the combat. I did enjoy the game as a whole, but its combat is what I'm truly in love with. The main mechanic of perfectly timed deflection, the finishing animations, that feeling of the swords clashing or even cutting through enemies, everything felt so impactful. I actually tried Assassin's Creed Origins after that, but I could not continue with it. The combat felt so floaty or something like that in it. It just doesn't give that impactful feeling. Anyways, so coming back to Sekiro, since I pitted it against Devil May Cry, I would like to say that the combat in Sekiro is nowhere near as sophisticated as DMC. But I guess sometimes, if things are done right, less could be more. The combat in Sekiro is almost entirely revolves around one single mechanic, deflection. All I needed to do was to press the block button before the enemies hit me. But, Kintu, there's a catch. The window is probably only about half a second. Do it earlier than that, it will turn into a block which based on situations does damage to my health or to my posture bar. None of it is a good thing. And if I do it late, then well, there goes nearly all of my HP, or maybe even all of it. There goes nearly all of my HP, or all of it. The enemies can deal quite a bit of damage, especially the mini bosses and of course the bosses. They will one-shot you. That risk, that intensity, that threat, I just don't know how to express that amount of excitement that I feel while in combat in this game. And when I was able to beat different enemies or bosses or mini bosses, that sense of satisfaction, that success is inexpressible.
That's how you do it, boy. That's how you do it.
One thing that I noticed about this game is that it constantly made me feel powerful. In other games, let's say like Assassin's Creed and DMC or Batman or even Prince of Persia, in all those games, whenever I beat a horde of enemies, whenever I beat a tough boss. When I finished the games, I was met with an admiration for the characters that I played. Batman is so cool, Dante is so strong, Ezio Auditore da Firenze is freaking unstoppable. But with Sekiro, it's different. I will admit, a shinobi who can kill giants, can do freaking lightning reversals, is definitely a freak of nature himself. But despite that, somehow the game made me feel that despite he himself being so overpowered, it was I who was truly strong. Every time I beat an unbeatable enemy, I got a strong feeling of becoming better than before. And when I was able to beat enemies more easily against whom I was struggling before, I felt a sense of success. I felt like I was gradually growing. Maybe I'm exaggerating here, but I kind of did feel a bit proud of myself when I found myself easing away against these ninjas. I hope I'm not the only one who feels like this, but I believe that one of the most pleasing aspects of the Sekiro is that it makes the player, the gamer, feel strong. Or maybe like a sore loser depending upon your level of success in this game. Okay, so now coming back to the combat mechanics again, yes, deflection is the main way of dealing with 90% of the enemies, but it's not the only way. I did have the option to dodge. I could use different prosthetic tools to either disrupt or go Itachi on enemies. Certain enemies are there against whom it's more easier to chip away their HP bar rather than trying to fill up their posture bar. Heck, certain enemy types even require a totally new skill or prosthetic tool to deal with them easily. So yeah, even though on surface the combat seems to lack depth, it probably even does if we do go by the variety in it, it still feels wrong to call it that. Even if one chooses to just rely on deflections only, the enemy's attack timings are varied, and in certain cases they even vary between string of attacks. Combine that with unblockable thrust attacks and unblockable undeflectable swipe and grab attack. The simple combat will definitely keep anyone on their toes. No one can afford to lose focus here. And oof, the animations. Rope slinging, deflection, finishing animations. My guy looks cool as AF in all of it. And yes, how did I even forget to mention this before? There is an option to go stealth. Although I will say that it's not that good, it's still very much fun. The thing is that I could literally run up to enemies from behind, and the only reaction that I get from them is... But I guess I can understand that approach. The pacing of the game is pretty fast, and putting too much stealth elements could potentially harm it. Although, truth to be told, I am quite surprised that From Software, who makes games so punishing, decided to keep such an easy element in their game. But regardless, it's fun. I loved it. Whew. You know, I can keep on going and going here as to how much I love the combat in this game. Don't know when it'll ever end if I keep going, so let's just change the topic a little before the video ends so that I get to praise the game as much as possible. So yeah, as much as the combat makes me go, I kill you! Every time I see enemies, the plot of the game kept me intrigued to finish it, and the setting, the environment, immersed me into it. Honestly, if not for the plot, I'd probably just be resetting the areas in those idols and kill all the enemies over and over again. Happy Death Day. Or Izanami, if you will. Anyways, the setting is definitely a bit dark and gloomy in the game, but it doesn't take anything away from it. It definitely matches with the story. The game definitely looks amazing. I guess you can say that the environment matches well with the setting. Wait, I just repeated myself. I mean, let's just take an example. The easiest one that I can give is Senpo Temple. That area is beautiful, but at the same time, that gloomy atmosphere kept giving off a feeling that something is wrong over there. It indeed felt like a place where the monks strayed into the path of darkness. So I hope I have got my point across by this example. Anyways, coming to the RPG element in this game, it is quite less in here. No stat points, no crafting, upgrading, exploration is also kind of limited. There are various skill trees though, This might come as a drawback for a lot of people, but personally for me, that is the right amount of RPGness I want in my games. I wouldn't mind a little bit weapon crafting, but that's all I need honestly. Not much of an RPG person. So anyways, Sekiro hands down is my most favorite game right now, and I kind of feel a bit hollow actually. Yeah, I can do a new game plus and there are updates, but still, I have seen those things, I have beaten everything, so I just honestly want part 2 of this game. Frankly, the only thing that I was upset in this entire playthrough was that I already knew what the game was gonna throw at me. I missed being surprised by the guardian ape, I missed being thrown aback by Genichiro giving birth to his grandpa, and I missed getting a heart attack by the Woo guy. I missed out on a lot of things, and next time I want to be a part of it. Anyways, I think I'll play Titanfall 2 next since Apex Legends seems to be able to keep me interested and I'm getting my ass handed to me in there. I'll definitely put up a video on that, so stay tuned for it and thank you for watching this video. Take care.